Local food friends, in front of the camera, my name is Matt. I am from Freshless. Behind the camera is Burke, making everything look incredible. And today we are 20 minutes away from the heart of Uptown in Charlotte, North Carolina, in Cabarrus County at Barbee Farms. We are talking with Brent Barbee, 5th generation farmer and the first to do it full time on this land. And he's gonna explain what it's like to be on a century farm and to have over 100 acres in production.
My name's Brent Barbee. I'm with Barbee Farms out here in Concord, North Carolina. I'm the 5th generation of Barbies to farm this land. Yeah, so we are a century farm here in Cabarrus County. Century farm means that this ground has been cultivated by our family for in excess of 100 years. And we did track it back at one point in time to around 150, 160 years.
Wow.
So we go further than a century. So a typical day for me starts around 3:30, 4 o'clock. I take the time early in the morning before everybody gets in to be sure that I have all my I's dotted and T's crossed to get ready for that day. So if something comes up during the middle of the day, that I've got time to address that. We'll typically start, depending on light hours, what time the sun comes up, typically start field work between 6 and 7. And if it's like it is this time of year where we're done thinning peaches, we're done doing that type stuff, we'll cut out at a half a day for our guys. Typically there's always something going on, like there's always irrigation going on, there's always crop planting going on, like what's going where, when, you know, preparation for the harvest. Everything is in preparation for the harvest. They may gut out at dinner time. Typically I'm in the packing house till 5:36 at least. Funny story, worst day ever. We were picking squash and tomatoes on the same day. We started picking squash at 6 a.m. Finished picking tomatoes at 8 p.m. We still had all the tomatoes to grade, so everybody went home, got a bite to eat, came back. We graded tomatoes from 8 till 10. We do a custom pack box, so we pack those boxes from 10 to midnight. I had a delivery to make at 1:30 in Winston-Salem a.m. We got done packing the boxes. I hopped in the truck, took off to Winston-Salem, got back, drank a cup of coffee, and here we go again. So worst day ever. So one of our family members is a nurse, and she had got in the business where outside of work, she puts IV bags on patients just for one reason or another. So I said, hey, it's middle of the summer, guys are hot, tired, dehydrated, and hydration is the biggest one. Come give these guys banana bags. Come hang IV bags on my guys while we take an hour, just kind of chill. So we gave the guys IV fluids to help boost electrolytes, hydration, and just a general overall health boost for them. And that seemed to make a big difference. We're gonna try to do that maybe even a couple times this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so we grow over 60 different products on roughly 100 acres. You would consider that to be a little better than an acre average per crop, but it doesn't exactly work that way. Like our celery is counted as one of our crops, and we'll only have less than 1/10 of an acre of celery. So squash, zucchini, sweet corn, and tomatoes are our biggest acreage takers. Squash and zucchini, we'll end up with 15, 16 acres on squash and zucchini, 20, 25 acres on sweet corn. Tomatoes will end up in the 10 acre-ish range. And then everything else is typically smaller quantities, smaller volumes. Now we do hit some late season lettuce where we'll grab, 2 acres of lettuce, but that is outside of the normal. On fruit and vegetable crops, we did not have past history because I'm the first generation to move into what they call high value crops, fruits and vegetables. My father was in hog production, fair to finish hog production, and row crops. So all the cropland that we own here was in corn, soybeans, and barley to feed the hogs. We do go off of what sold last year, what worked last year, what grows good in this area, what didn't do good last year, and we won't go, like we won't start with 2 acres of celery. Like we don't know how it does. So unless there's a really good hold on, hey, we've done this in the past, but we lost it and we want to get back to it, like we know how to do it, we won't just jump in with both feet. We'll dip our toes in the water a little bit, see how it's going to go, and then we'll ramp up if it's something that needs ramped up in production. Up there where our packing house is at, that was our first peach orchard. It was the size of that packing house. 12 trees was what we started with. But each year that the produce progressed, in the end goal, I'm the first generation in 3 generations to depend off of this ground for income. The 2 generations prior to me had off-farm jobs. So what can I do off of this land to provide for me and my family? And as you start to grow in produce, you take 2 acres here, and this is no longer cropland for the hogs, it's going to be produce land. And then you grab a little bit more, and then as you grow, you grab a little bit more, and then you set a 4-acre orchard, and you grab a little bit more, and then before you know it, you've got it all. And you're working on 70 acres, which is what we own, and you're saying, well, I'm still not doing enough. I need to be doing a little bit more. So you look at renting a little bit of ground to pull in that little bit of extra production that you need to either fill a customer's demand or round out your season. We grow 51 weeks out of the year. So they changed our zone this past year. We're in like 7A now, I think. We were in 7B, which there's not a whole lot of difference in that. The zones are rated in average of growing degree days and daylight hours. There's lots of factors factored into that zone. And then they take the zones and there's plant recommendations off of what zone you're in. So if you look at latitude lines, we're pretty doggone close with the heart of vegetable growing country in California. That's what got us into growing lettuce. For years and years, California would have some kind of a food safety scare in lettuce in the fall, and we had a couple distributors come to us and say, hey, we think we can hit this window. Can you grow us lettuce? We'll try. So that's what got us started with the fall lettuce, going into traditional food service distribution. Don't believe everything you see on Facebook. H2A is extremely important for what we do. We would not do what we do without our H2A guys. That's who we depend on to do all of our planning, picking, and packing. And there are lots and lots and lots and lots of misconceptions out there about those guys. And for years, when we first started out, we always said, okay, we're asking our consumers to buy local product, so we need to hire local help. And we tried that. High school and college age kids, you know, they're the ones that are the most fit, most able to do the job. Well, who doesn't want to go to the beach over July 4th weekend? Well, July 4th is one of our busiest weekends of the year, and we can't afford to be without planters, pickers, and packers over that busy holiday weekend for us. And that's when we started looking into the H2A program and everything that comes along with it. And it's for a farm of our scale and size, and even smaller than us, it's a necessity. Like, we have to have those guys be able to come. There's not enough local help that wants to do what we're doing at a reasonable wage, you know, and that reasonable wage piece is always, okay, I would come do what they're doing for 30 bucks an hour. Okay, are you prepared for a plate of food to cost you double? I mean, end goal is always the same. We want to produce food and get it to our local community, and to get at a reasonable cost, and what's reasonable for me may not be reasonable for you. So we've always got to have all of those factors figured in, and it's not a local problem. It's a national problem that we've got. You know, us as Americans, we've gotten spoiled. We go into the grocery store and we always see full shelves. We're always having sales. It's new low price this and price drop on that. And that's not always the case out here. Because sometimes it's so far removed from actuality that we're painting a storybook picture in a grocery store. We are classed as a conventional farm. We use all commercially available fertilizers because of the food safety aspect of using raw manures. And that's just the direction that we've chosen to go. There are other avenues that you could go to get there, but it's the easiest for us to figure out. Now, as far as herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, fungicides, we look at 3 basic safeties. Your safety as a consumer, my safety as an applicator, and the safety of our pollinators, the bees that run around and do all the dirty work. So when we're going to pick, we use lots of pest-specific products. So we're not going in here and using a kills all of this or a kills all of that or gets rid of everything here. So we're going after aphids specifically. So if we're going after aphids, we're going to go and we're going to look at all the products that are labeled for use on the certain crop, whether it be lettuce or tomatoes or peaches, the applicable rates, and how it affects the biodiversity in the field. You know, we pick the one that we can control the problem with, that's going to look at our 3 safeties, whether it be labeled as organic, conventional, or not. When it goes to selecting the right product does what it's supposed to do when it's supposed to do it. And that's it. So my educational background, I have a high school diploma. I did do some continuing education when I left high school, my goal was to be a golf course manager.
No way.
So I went into the Ag Institute program at NC State in turf grass management. Dad says I wasted 2 years of my time and his money because I came away without any degree. And I came back and I told him, I said, I want to farm for a living. This is what I want to do. You know, and through the years, an education is either paid for financially or paid for with mistakes. And the ones that are paid for with mistakes are the ones that you never forget. Well, we've learned a lot through mistakes as we've built this business up. And I'm always real forthcoming with new guys that are coming along trying to grow this and that and the other. And you know, like, here's a mistake that I made. Don't make the same mistake. This is something you need to do. You know, go this way as opposed to that way, you know, and not trying to put them in a specific path, but get their head wrapped around the right ideas. Because that's just like the story I was telling in the greenhouse about, you know, the greenhouse tomatoes being the best way to make $1 million. Well, my head wasn't wrapped around the right ideas. Yeah, it's a good way to make $1 million, but the problem is you got to start with 2 million to get there. So those lessons that we've learned, I'm very forthcoming with to new growers that are coming up to help them get along the right path. We laugh about it because we always tell our accountant we're a giant R&D project. But that's what we are. I mean, we've always got a new variety of tomatoes that we're trying. We've always got a new variety of carrots. We've always got to try the latest and greatest fertility program and doing the sampling that we need to do to try to be sure that those levels are in the right spot to get you a nutrient dense product. So that's all we are. We are a research and development company, but we're on the final stages. Like, we're trying to push product out. You as a consumer, my best advice is for you to trust me. I'm not trying to kill everybody. You know, I'm really and truthfully trying to put the best product that I can in front of a spoiled society, which has to have everything perfect. And for young up-and-comers, don't give up. The reason that we grow carrots today is because somebody told us we couldn't grow carrots in this soil type. So don't give up. Everything is possible. It's just upon what scale is it possible.
What's it mean for your family to grow food for your community?
I mean, it's huge. It's not about economic impact on me. It's not about economic impact on the community. It's more of it is about what most people would consider as waste and getting that product into the community, into people who are less fortunate and can't afford fresh, nutrient-dense produce. You know, I mean, we donate thousands of pounds of gleaned product where the gleaners come out, and when we're done with a field, they'll come through and pick everything that's left. I mean, an ear of corn that's not but that long and it's got a little worm on the end doesn't mean anything to me, doesn't mean anything to you. But to somebody who hadn't had any corn this season, it means the world. And to be able to see and feel the appreciation behind that group of people is just undescribable. Is Jesse gonna see this?
Jesse's probably gonna see this.
At the time when Jesse come knocking on my door, he said, we're Fresh List. I'm trying to get this going. We want to deliver to restaurants. And I said, great, because that's a space I'm looking to get out of. You know, because my time is spent better on the farm. I can't get in a truck and go deliver stuff. It's better if I do. I can, of course, I always can do. But it's better if I stay here and focus on growing and let somebody else do the distribution aspect of it. You know, and I don't know why I trusted Jesse. He just seemed like a good, lovable guy. I mean, and it's just like, I don't know why. It hit. He told me what I wanted to. I mean, he's like me. It sounded good. And there are guys that come along that sound good every day. But Jesse backed it up. Jesse did what was good. Jesse didn't just talk over here and order a box of potatoes. Jesse talked over here, and here we are. How many years later? How long's Fresh List been around?
This is 11 years.
11 years, and I mean, we've done, like, over the 11 years, we've done 1.6 million with y'all.
It's crazy.
It's phenomenal. That, I mean, that's what we need as farmers, is we need to be able to do what we do. You know, the best advice that I've got farming through the years is there's one thing that you need to put on your field consistently, and that's your shadow. And I can't do that if I'm not right here. So this is our washing and grading line. And Burke, you may have to pick up and come over here and give a tour. So the way our packing house is designed, this is our dirty side in to clean side and out. So all the product comes in, goes through this washer. It's got little nylon brushes in it and goes in there. It's kind of like a veggie spa day. It gets showered with water from the top, goes through there, and then from there it'll go out and we'll hand grade off of this table, or like tomatoes go out and go down the sizing and this fall out at the appropriate size belt. So when we designed that washer, we told them we wanted something that would wash everything from cherry tomatoes to watermelons, and it does. When we were working on design for the pack house and the washer and everything, it was before all the finalizations had been done to the food safety rules. So we were guessing. We guessed towards the side of caution. Like, we erred on the side of caution, and okay, what do we want to be able to tear down and clean down every day? So those guys that are out there picking strawberries, in an hour's time, they can come in here, have that washer tore down to bare bones, complete wash, complete sanitize, and put back together and running product. And that was all pretty much our design.
Wow. That's wild.
So that's the monster that's behind us.
So that's insane. Yeah, that's absolutely wild. Is that a dryer too?
Yep, it's an air shear.
It's an air shear?
So, and it doesn't
It just
work.
pushes.
Correct.
And that's to push
doesn't
physical
work.
moisture off of it, right?
Correct.
I got you. It's a normal Monday in April. How many pounds of food do you think the crews picked today?
We won't pick that much today. We'll pick, we won't pick but maybe around a ton today. Once we get into June, July, August, we're looking at tons per day. I mean, we'll go, let me do some quick calculations here. So we can do up to 8,000 pounds of squash and zucchini before noon in a day. And that's typical what we push. I mean, we're picking squash and zucchini every other day. We're running. And when we started, the first 4 guys that we got, they're all like, I can remember when you said, go pick 5 buckets of squash, no more. We were there.
Insane.
Because that's where we were at when they first started, because we were super small dealing with mostly retail. But now, I mean, we've jumped into from doing retail, we do our own CSA, we do wholesale, broad spectrum wholesale, small distributor wholesale. I mean, we do it all. I mean, it's from one end of the spectrum to the other. And see, that's what I like about working with y'all. Like, in just a matter, I guarantee you right now, I could text Aaron and Carolyn with 10 bags of snap peas or whatever we had that comes in That's a surprise for me because I didn't put my shadow in the right field over the weekend. And it's gone. It's got a home. You know, the network and the community that y'all have built around what we do and the food that we produce, y'all are doing phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Guys, I can't believe it. So we just spent over an hour and a half with Brent Barbee on his farm. And I have to tell you, as somebody who is a previous executive chef inside of our city, as somebody who found their love for food through the lens of cooking and through the lens of hospitality, to me, I really do not know a lot about farming. And to be able to spend the time that I got to spend with Brent in this video that we're doing for you is something that is incredibly valuable to me. And I think that as a consumer, one of the things that we can do to most benefit us as people who are purchasing food is to get to know our farmer. And you can do that through a myriad of different ways. That is one of the main reasons why we try to shoot these videos. We at Freshlist hope that you watch these videos and something is impactful and stands out to you and pushes you towards trying to find out more information. You can go see your farmers at a farm like we did today. But the most important thing that we can all do is support local. My name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching this. If you want these local ingredients delivered to your door, check out freshlist.com. As always, thanks everybody.